Stop telling women they're beautiful. I'm serious. Stop it right now. Not because it's wrong, not because it's rude, but because it does absolutely nothing for her emotionally. Here's the truth most men never learn. When you tell a woman you are beautiful, her brain registers it for about half a second and then files it away under generic compliment number 9,847. She's heard it 1,000 times, from strangers, from exes, from guys trying to get something. It's white noise. But there are 8 specific things you can say instead, things that bypass her logical brain and go straight to her emotional core. Things that make her feel truly seen, valued, and connected to you in a way she rarely experiences. And here's what makes this so powerful. These aren't pickup lines. These aren't tricks. These are psychologically rooted phrases that tap into what women actually crave: emotional depth, presence, and authenticity. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to say to make a woman feel something real. And once you start using these, you won't be able to go back to the surface level stuff, because you'll see the difference in her eyes, in her body language, in the way she responds to you. So stick with me through all 8, because number 6, that one changes everything. Where are you watching from, by the way? Drop your location in the comments. I want to know where you're all tuning in from. Let's get into it. Why "you're beautiful" doesn't work. Before I give you the 8 replacements, you need to understand why "you're beautiful" falls flat, especially with mature, emotionally intelligent women. Here's the psychology. Compliments that focus purely on appearance activate the external validation center of the brain. It's the part that says, okay, someone noticed how I look, cool. But it doesn't create emotional connection. It doesn't make her feel understood. It doesn't make her feel like you see her as a person. In fact, research from the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that compliments about a person's character or behavior create significantly stronger emotional bonding than compliments about appearance. Why? Because appearance is something she had no control over. She was born with her face. She knows she's attractive. She's been told that her whole life. But when you compliment something deeper, something about who she is, how she thinks, how she makes you feel, that's when her brain lights up. That's when oxytocin floods her system. That's when she thinks, this man is different. So let's break down the 8 things you should say instead. Number 1, I love the way you think. This one is devastatingly effective because it acknowledges something most men completely overlook: her mind. When you tell a woman, I love the way you think, you're telling her that you've been paying attention, not just to what she looks like, but to how she processes the world. You're validating her intellect, her perspective, her uniqueness. And for a mature woman, someone who's spent years being valued primarily for her appearance, this hits differently. Dr. John Gottman, one of the world's leading relationship researchers, found that emotional attunement, the ability to notice and validate someone's internal experience, is one of the strongest predictors of relationship satisfaction. When you say, I love the way you think, you're demonstrating emotional attunement. You're showing her that you're not just attracted to her body, you're attracted to her. And that makes her feel seen in a way that "you're beautiful" never will. Number 2, you make me want to be better. This one is powerfully effective because it does something most compliments don't. It makes the compliment about connection, not just about her. You're not putting her on a pedestal. You're not worshiping her. You're telling her that her presence in your life has an impact, and impact is what creates emotional bonding. Psychologically, this taps into something called mutual growth admiration, the idea that both people in a relationship inspire each other to evolve. When you tell her, you make me want to be better, you're communicating, I see value in you. You inspire me. Being around you elevates me. And for a woman who's used to men either idealizing her or trying to impress her, this level of vulnerability and authenticity is rare. It makes her feel like she matters, not just as an object of desire, but as a catalyst for your growth. And that's deeply attractive. Number 3, I feel more like myself when I'm with you. This one is almost unfair because of how deeply it resonates with emotionally mature women. When you say, I feel more like myself when I'm with you, you're telling her something profound. You feel safe with her. And safety, emotional, psychological, relational safety, is the foundation of attraction for women. Dr. Sue Johnson, the creator of emotionally focused therapy, has spent decades studying attachment and bonding. One of her key findings: emotional safety is the #1 predictor of romantic connection. When a woman hears, "I feel more like myself when I'm with you," her brain interprets it as, "He trusts me. He's not performing around me. He feels comfortable being vulnerable." And vulnerability, real, grounded vulnerability, is one of the most attractive qualities a man can have. This phrase also subtly communicates that you're selective. You don't feel this way with everyone. You feel this way with her. And that distinction makes all the difference.
You have a way of making people feel heard. This one works because it highlights a quality most women deeply value but rarely get acknowledged for: their emotional intelligence. When you tell a woman you have a way of making people feel heard, you're recognizing something she works hard at, something she probably doesn't even realize she's doing. And when you notice something about her that she doesn't advertise, it creates a moment of profound recognition. Psychologically, this taps into what's called the spotlight effect of validation, the idea that being seen for something subtle and internal makes the compliment feel more genuine. Anyone can say, "You're beautiful," that's obvious. But noticing that she makes people feel heard, that requires actual attention. And attention, real, focused, intentional attention, is one of the rarest and most valuable things you can give a woman. When she realizes you've been paying that kind of attention, she'll start paying a different kind of attention to you. Number 5, I appreciate how honest you are. This phrase is powerful because it validates something most people are afraid of: authenticity. In a world where everyone is performing, filtering, and curating their image, being told, "I appreciate how honest you are," feels like permission to drop the mask. And for a mature woman who's tired of playing games, tired of pretending, tired of the dance, this phrase is a breath of fresh air. It tells her, you value realness over perfection. You're not intimidated by her directness. You can handle her truth. And here's the kicker: when you validate her honesty, she'll give you more of it. She'll open up. She'll let you in. She'll stop filtering herself around you. And that's when real connection begins. Psychologically, this works because of something called reciprocal vulnerability, the idea that when one person feels safe being open, the other person does too. When you appreciate her honesty, you're creating a space where emotional intimacy can actually grow. Number 6, you challenge me in the best way. This is the one I said would change everything, and here's why. Most men either agree with everything a woman says, which makes them boring, or argue with everything she says, which makes them exhausting. But when you say, "You challenge me in the best way," you're doing something entirely different. You're celebrating the tension. You're telling her that you don't need her to be easy. You don't need her to be agreeable. You enjoy the fact that she pushes you, questions you, makes you think harder. And for an intelligent, strong-willed woman, that's incredibly attractive. Because most men are intimidated by a woman who challenges them. They see it as a threat. They pull back. But when you lean into that dynamic, when you tell her you value it, you separate yourself from every other man she's ever met. Psychologically, this taps into arousal through cognitive stimulation, the idea that intellectual sparring can be just as attractive as physical chemistry. When you tell her you challenge me in the best way, you're communicating, "I'm not intimidated by your strength. I don't need you to shrink yourself. I value your mind as much as your body." And that makes her feel chosen for who she actually is, not just what she looks like. Number 7, I notice how thoughtful you are. This one works because it's specific. You're not just saying you're nice or you're kind. You're saying, "I notice how thoughtful you are." That word, thoughtful, carries weight. It implies that you've been paying attention to the little things, the way she remembers details, the way she considers other people's feelings, the way she puts care into her actions. And when you notice the little things, it makes her feel like you're actually present. Research from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that specific behavior-based compliments are perceived as more genuine than general trait-based compliments. Why? Because anyone can say, "You're great," but noticing how someone is great requires actual observation. When you say, "I notice how thoughtful you are," you're showing her that you're not just attracted to her, you're studying her, you're learning her.
And that level of attentiveness, that's what makes a woman feel truly valued. Number 8, you make everything feel a little lighter. This is the final one, and it's powerful because it describes an emotional experience rather than a physical trait. When you say you make everything feel a little lighter, you're telling her that her presence has an effect on your emotional state. You're not complimenting her appearance, you're complimenting her energy. And energy, how someone makes you feel, is far more important than looks. Dr. Barbara Fredrickson, a leading researcher in positive psychology, has shown that positive emotional experiences are one of the strongest drivers of interpersonal attraction. When you tell a woman you make everything feel a little lighter, you're associating her with positive emotional states. And that's how emotional bonding works. She becomes tied to feelings of ease, joy, relief, comfort. And once that association is made, she doesn't just become attractive to you, you become emotionally dependent on her presence. And that mutual dependence, that's the foundation of love. So here's the challenge. The next time you're tempted to tell a woman you're beautiful, pause. Ask yourself, what do I actually appreciate about her? Is it the way she thinks, the way she makes me feel, the way she challenges me, the way she listens? Then tell her that, because that's the compliment she's been waiting to hear her whole life. If this shifted your perspective, drop a comment and let me know which of these 8 you're going to try first. I read every single one. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Every week, I break down the psychology of attraction, communication, and emotional connection, the stuff most people never learn. I'll see you in the next one.